Join the VLGA and LGIU for their next Global Executive Live panel on Thursday the 22nd of May. Addressing a pressing issue for local government, this webinar will explore the experiences and lessons from across the globe when it comes to civility in public life. Hear from experts about what they're observing, the reasons for a decline in civility, and the impact this is having on retaining talent and promoting diversity. Tickets are free for VLGA members and alumni, and $60 for non-members, excluding GST. Head to the VLGA website to find out more and secure your place. And we look forward to seeing you at the Global Executive Live panel Thursday the 22nd of May from 5:30 p.m. The Whittlesea Council Commission of Inquiry gets underway. Golden Plains elects a new mayor, a leadership transition revealed for Cardinia Shire, a Sydney Council's new housing plan alternative, Kiama Council hits back at false media claims, a major council property transaction confirmed on the Gold Coast, a controversial rates proposal for retirement villages draws criticism, and a council's innovative approach to cat containment laws. Hello, I'm Chris Eddy. This is the Local Government News Roundup for Wednesday, the 21st of May. The podcast is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government, with support from Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences. Welcome to the Roundup, Australia's #1 podcast for local government news. A commission of inquiry into Whittlesea City Council has been launched. Minister for Local Government Nick Stakos has announced that Prue Digby will be chair of the commission of inquiry, supported by Jim Gifford as commissioner. The inquiry will take 4 months to complete as Ms Digby and Mr Gifford look into the council's current governance practices and determine if reform is needed to address ongoing issues. It follows the suspension last month of Mayor Aidan McClendon for a period of 6 months. Ms Digby is an experienced senior executive and director with state and local government experience, and last year served as a municipal monitor at Moonee Valley City Council. Mr Gifford has extensive experience supporting councils through governance issues, including as municipal monitor at Glenelg Shire Council in 2024. Outgoing monitors Jude Munro and Peter Duncan were thanked by the Minister for their service at Whittlesea since November last year. A report from the Commission of Inquiry is due in September. Golden Plains Shire Council has elected Councillor Owen Sharkey as its new mayor. The election was required after Sarah Hayden resigned the mayoralty last week and following a period of instability which included the resignation of former mayor Brett Cunningham. A countback to fill his position on the council has been set for Wednesday the 11th of June. Councillor Sharkey noted the impact of destructive media commentary on Councillor Hayden's mayoralty, much of it from anonymous posters. He said the issue had also impacted the well-being of councillors more generally at Golden Plains and across the wider local government sector. Councillor Sharkey also thanked Councillor Helena Kirby for her work as acting mayor over the last few weeks. Peter Benezic has been appointed as interim CEO of Cardinia Shire Council for 6 months starting June 5, as Carol Jeffs departs the organisation after 6.5 years. Mr Benezic brings 27 years of senior role experience and 39 years in local government to the position. Mayor Jack Kowaczyk has paid tribute to Ms Jeffs' leadership at the council as she prepares to take up the CEO role at Uniting VicTaz. East Gippsland Shire Council is seeking urgent state drought support for Benambra and Omeo farmers who were excluded from a $15.9 million support package announced last week. That's despite the area's farmers facing severe drought conditions, including failed crops, low dam levels and critical fodder shortages. Mayor John White said that without immediate government assistance, the high country farming communities face irreversible business impacts and long-term economic challenges, while also facing new tax burdens from the Emergency Services and Volunteers Fund. Hepburn Shire Council welcomed the support package as crucial for its farmers. Mayor Don Henderson said it was pleasing that the Shire's farmers would directly benefit from a grant program to support on-farm upgrades, such as water infrastructure, stock containment and grain and fodder storage. Mildura Council has announced more than $2 million in cost savings as part of preparing its latest draft budget. The $155 million budget includes a $41 million capital works program. Mayor Helen Healy said if there was a theme to the budget, it is cost saving. The $2 million in cuts have come from a range of areas, including fleet management, passenger fleet vehicle costs and bringing landscape architecture in-house. Mayor Healy said the savings have been achieved despite an annual impost of $5 million from federal and state government cost shifting. And the controversial VNI West Transmission Line project has drawn formal opposition from Local Shire Council. The council says recent community engagement has revealed strong and widespread opposition to the project in its current form, from those directly affected by the proposed alignment, as well as those with broader concerns about land use, consultation processes and the cumulative impact on rural communities. It says there's a lack of confidence that the project will deliver fair and lasting outcomes for the Bullock community. In other Victorian Council news, Greater Geelong is offering free registration for local cats involved in the Fix a Feline Friend for Free initiative, in which 120 free desexing and microchipping procedures are being provided through Geelong Animal Welfare Society and Animal Welfare Victoria. Mayor Stretch Contell said the free registration is a further incentive for the city's cat owners to apply for a desexing and microchipping voucher. The Victorian Legislative Assembly Environment and Planning Committee visited Ararat to investigate regional housing shortages last week. Members met with Ararat Council reps and toured developments while examining supply challenges and potential solutions. And the City of Greater Bendigo is seeking feedback on the potential sale of 8 surplus properties, including car parks, tennis clubs and community facilities. The properties are part of the city's portfolio of around 1,500 assets valued at over $577 million, and they've been identified as no longer aligned with future plans or strategies. This is the Local Government News Roundup, brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association with support from Symphony 3. Local government teams shouldn't have to waste time on manual data entry into outdated systems. With Symphony 3 Smart Glue, you don't have to. You can automate repetitive tasks, eliminate double handling, and connect legacy systems with ease. Smart Glue helps councils streamline operations, reduce errors, and deliver better services without replacing your existing systems. It's time to build smarter, more connected local governments. Learn more at www.symphony3.com. On with the news and into New South Wales. Inner West Council has released a comprehensive plan called A Fairer Future for the Inner West that aims to enable 35,000 new homes over the next 15 years through increased residential densities around transport hubs and main streets. The plan includes provisions for not-for-profit housing and focuses on making housing more accessible for essential workers, young people and renters, while proposing 6 to 11-storey buildings in key precincts. It's the council's alternative to the government's blanket rezoning that came into effect last year, and the plan was due to come before councillors this week for endorsement for public exhibition. Kiama Council has publicly refuted a number of claims made by local media outlet The Bugle about its developer contributions and infrastructure planning processes. The council said a Bugle article made several incorrect assertions, including false claims about missed deadlines and financial losses. It insists it has maintained proper oversight of its policy reviews and contribution plans, with regular reporting to various committees and public updates throughout the process. Councillor Jason Southern has resigned from Balonne Shire Council due to increasing work commitments and staffing constraints in his business. Mayor Samantha O'Toole said she understood his decision and thanked him for his efforts. The council has initiated the process for a by-election to fill the vacant position, with dates yet to be announced. Murrumbidgee Council has announced a public auction in September for properties with unpaid rates and charges. Approximately $270,000 remains unpaid, with $80,000 recovered since the announcement of the auction process. Buyers at the auction, to be held in Jerilderie, will need to conduct their own due diligence, as properties will be sold sight unseen. Mayor Ruth McRae said it was a difficult decision to proceed to auction. However, unpaid rates and charges are a heavy burden on both the council and all ratepayers, she said. And the City of Coffs Harbour is urging developers, builders and earth movers to properly manage sediment and erosion control on construction sites following increased instances of contamination of local waterways during recent wet weather. Failure to comply with regulations can result in significant penalties, with fines for water pollution starting at $30,000 for companies and $15,000 for individuals. More New South Wales Council briefs. Central Coast Council is transitioning its Buttonderry and Woy Woy waste management facilities to cashless-only payments from July 1st. It says only 5% of its customers use cash, and the change is necessary to improve efficiency and reduce operational costs. Snowy Monaro Regional Council has secured over $300,000 in New South Wales government grant funding to combat high-risk weed species. The council said the funding recognition demonstrates its biosecurity team's successful track record in protecting the region from biosecurity threats. And 4 young Bega Valley residents have secured children's services traineeships with Bega Valley Shire Council, gaining qualifications in early childhood education while working at various council-operated childcare facilities. It's hoped the initiative will help address skilled labour shortages in the region while providing valuable career opportunities for local youth. This is the Local Government News Roundup for Wednesday the 21st of May. It's edition number 454. Heading into Queensland, Gold Coast City Council has purchased the 17-storey Gold Coast Corporate Centre at Bundall for $117 million, marking the largest commercial property transaction on the Gold Coast since 2020. The council told the Gold Coast Bulletin that the purchase is a strategic investment to secure the council's long-term accommodation needs while delivering ongoing financial returns for the community. A Cairns Regional Council proposal to change how rates are charged for retirement villages could lead to dramatic increases of up to 800% for some estates. That's according to a report from Channel 9's A Current Affair, which says there are now fears other councils may follow suit. The council argues the change will ensure more equitable contributions from property owners for local services, though retirement village advocates have condemned it as a cruel cash grab. The council says that while rates are charged to property owners, it is aware that some have advised they'll pass on the rates as an additional charge to their tenants. Logan City Council is reviewing a region-wide smart water meter initiative after a 2019 trial revealed the digital meters cost 9 times more than standard meters. The Courier Mail reported that the initiative saw just 10.5% customer engagement with the online portal. The council is considering participating in a fresh SEQ water-funded study examining digital metering across southeast Queensland, with industry suppliers arguing that newer devices offer improved features and capabilities. To South Australia, the town of Walkerville Council is implementing new 40 km/h speed limits across most residential streets in Medindie, Walkerville, Gilberton and part of Vale Park, with major roads retaining their current speed limits. InDaily reported that the changes follow community consultation and aim to improve safety and reduce noise. They'll take effect from July 1st with a 3-month grace period for speeding fines. LGA South Australia has submitted a formal response to the Electoral Commission's 2022 council election report. The submission supports the shifting of council elections to avoid state election years and addresses other key themes such as voter participation and candidate attraction, while also proposing additional practical reforms to enhance the electoral process. And from Western Australia, the Shire of Pingelly is implementing new cat containment laws to protect endangered numbats and other native wildlife, with only 2,000 numbats remaining in the wild. WA Today reported that while 23 WA local governments have previously attempted similar laws since 2014, only 2 have succeeded. Pingalee's approach is significant as it mirrors Narragin's successful 2016 approach, introducing the new regulations through a Save the Numbats local law, which comes into effect this week. The law seeks not only to contain cats, but restricts ownership to 2 cats per household. Now let's check in on some local government stories making news overseas. Firstly, from the UK, the government has ended its 3-year intervention into Peterborough City Council's finances and governance, with Local Government Minister Jim McMahon acknowledging progress while noting ongoing risks. BBC News reported that despite improvements made since 2021, the council still faces significant financial challenges, including a predicted £23 million budget gap for this coming financial year, which may require service cuts, including library closures. Alan Graves, the incoming leader of Derbyshire County Council and a member of Reform UK, has been found to have breached Derby City Council's code of conduct after sharing confidential information on social media. The breach stemmed from his dissatisfaction with how a complaint about another councillor was handled. BBC News reported that despite the finding, Graves will face no sanctions and is set to be formally signed off as Reform UK's leader of Derbyshire County Council next week. Meanwhile, Reform UK councillors at West Northampton Shire Council have refused to participate in diversity and climate training sessions following their recent local election victory, where they won 42 out of 76 seats. Their stand aligns with party leader Nigel Farage's position on boycotting the training that promotes that all people should be treated equally. BBC News reports that the council's new administration plans to implement changes including reduced remote working and flying only specific flags on council buildings. Los Angeles City Council in the US has approved a significant minimum wage increase for tourism industry workers, requiring hotels with over 60 rooms and LAX businesses to pay $30 per hour by 2028. The LA Times reported the decision was made despite warnings from business leaders about potential negative impacts on the industry. The measure passed with a 12-3 vote and includes an additional $8.35 per hour for healthcare benefits. It represents a 48% wage increase for hotel employees and a 56% increase for airport workers over 3 years. From New Zealand, Napier City Council is undergoing a restructure, potentially affecting over 100 jobs and the reshaping of its 4 directorates. The New Zealand Herald reported that the restructure is being driven by factors including government directives to prioritise core services and the need to identify $3 million in labour efficiencies. Concerns are emerging about the transparency of the process and potential impacts on community services, particularly regarding the commercialisation of some key facilities. Radio New Zealand reports that Christchurch City Council is considering new regulations to address the issue of abandoned shopping trolleys. Council staff have responded to over 6,300 reports in the past year. The council is exploring options including adding clauses to existing bylaws or working with Retail New Zealand on preventive measures. And approximately 400 staff from Christchurch City Council's Te Hanonga Civic Building, including the Mayor's office, are being relocated due to concerns about the building's seismic performance. The Star News reported this week that the relocation is a precautionary measure while engineers conduct a detailed assessment of the building's north side annex, which is expected to take 3 weeks to complete. And that's your midweek update from the Local Government News Roundup, edition number 454, recorded on Wednesday, the 21st of May, 2025. Our podcast is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government. Last call for registrations for the Global Executive Live panel on civility in public life, Thursday, 22nd of May, 5:30pm. And thank you to Symphony 3 for its support for the Local Government News Roundup. If you'd like to know more about any of the stories featured in today's episode, head to lgnewsroundup.com for story links and a full transcript. The Local Government News Roundup is recorded in the city of Greater Geelong, Victoria, on the land of the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation. Until next time, thanks so much for listening, and bye for now. thrilled to welcome Symphony 3 to the Local Government News Roundup family. If you're a local council, you know how challenging it can be to manage data across all your different systems. That's where Symphony 3 comes in. They've developed Smart Glue, a platform that integrates over 55 council systems, automating data flow without the need for manual work. It turns confusion into simplicity. With Smart Glue, councils save time, reduce errors and empower staff to focus on what really matters. Their clients see a real difference, up to 20% boost in productivity, with savings of over $30,000 per integration every year. Symphony 3 helps councils work smarter, faster and more efficiently, all while better supporting the communities they serve.